House Financial Services Committee member, Texas Congressman Roger Williams. Congressman, your take on the progress between the United States and Mexico on that slice of a NAFTA renegotiation?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, here in Texas, NAFTA has been very good to us. I do agree that we need to tweak it a little bit, and I think the president's doing a great job. And I'm also excited to see that I've never been a tariff proponent. I'm also excited to see that we're going to be they're addressing that from an automobile content standpoint. So I think we're on the right track, and you can already see the markets are reacting accordingly. So it's a good thing for us.
Congressman Mitch Rochelle, so in NAFTA, there's obviously the Canadian part. Do you think that getting a deal done with Mexico puts pressure on Canada to come to the table to renegotiate that part of NAFTA?
I think there's no question about it. I think the president's done it the right way, and I think once we reach our agreement, I think Mexico can help us a lot with Canada in making it happen. I mean, we need to have the agreement. It needs to be streamlined. We need to reduce content requirements and a lot of the products that are coming up here. So I think there's no question having Mexico on our team will help get Canada moving.
In terms of the economy, Congressman, what are you seeing in your district? And any evidence at all that the tariffs and how we're fighting these trade fights, that the tariffs are affecting negatively or even positively businesses in your district?
Well, economy's great in our district. It's great in Texas. I mean, the numbers in our district mirror what you see almost nationwide. But I think the tariffs did create a concern. I mean, I'm in the automobile business, and I know in our industry we were concerned about giving a tax cut and then all of a sudden having higher prices in the industry. So I think once we see that the thing may be toned down a little bit, I think consumers will feel better. I know that the business people that sell products that might have been affected by this are going to feel better. So it's all good. Look, competition is the key. Cutting regulations, creating more competition is the key to having a strong economy. And I think that the president doing the right thing and backing off on tariffs somewhat, and even it looks like they may even be talking about quotas, which, as I've talked about, may be better than tariffs.
Well, in terms of the tariffs on all imported automobiles, have you heard anything out of the White House? Because, again, that was kind of, I don't want to say put on the sidelines, but there was the study that was being put together to treat automobile imports as a national security risk, and at least that's on hold. But I think that automakers are waiting to hear from the White House that that idea has been scrubbed completely.
Well, I think they are. In fact, you know, the concern is a lot of auto dealers have slowed down on product ordering from the manufacturer because they're concerned what will the price of the vehicle be, along with interest rates going up. So I think that the White House is hearing the concerns. I know I talked to Secretary Mnuchin several times about what it could do to the industry and how it could trickle down to employment and jobs. And they're listening. I think we're heading in the right direction. I think markets and the consumer and the people that sell the product are going to be happy about this.
So Congressman, I think it's been really fascinating to watch voter sentiment on tariffs. So about 2/3 of voters for a long period of time were really willing to tough this one out and say, I don't think it's going to impact us in the long term in a negative way. I think this is actually a smart negotiating strategy. Now we're seeing that soften. We're starting to see some shifts in policy. But are you worried at all about some of the softening that we're seeing, or concerns with automakers maybe talking about laying people off or having to, you know, just waiting to see what's going to happen here and what that means for the midterms?
Well, tariffs are a cost of, it raised the cost of goods sold. It's a tax increase any way you look at it. Mm-hmm. As I said earlier, you're already seeing the retail part of the auto industry begin to be concerned about carrying an inventory that it would be priced higher, where they might price the consumer out of the market, and the cost of carrying goods with interest rates going up is even more of a burden. So there is a concern that tariffs could slow the business down, and when you slow the business down from a retail standpoint, it flows into production, and then it flows into jobs being cut. So I think I've expressed that to the White House. I think they understand it for certain, and I think that's why we're seeing the negotiations and the talks right now heading in the direction they are. It's a good thing that we hear coming out of Washington.
So, Congressman, hi, Aaron Elmore here. We've seen these negotiations. We're close to a deal. Where does this leave Canada? What is their role in all of this, and what happens next?
Well, I mean, Canada's going to have to join in, and I think that they will. I think they need to get with it. I think the fact that we've been able to agree with a lot of things we didn't think would happen under the new president in Mexico, Obrador, certainly sends a message to Canada that we need to do something. And, creating a streamlined NAFTA does nothing but help Canada also. So I think they'll get on board now. And they got to get away from their dislike maybe for this president and understand the economy is a good, strong economy for all three countries is the best thing we can have.
I want to switch gears, Congressman, before we go. Remembering Senator John McCain, who died Saturday at his home in Arizona after a battle of a little more than a year with glioblastoma brain cancer. Just how you would like to remember Senator McCain this morning?
Well, I got to know Senator McCain fairly well, and there's no question there's not a greater patriot, someone that loved their country. He was a maverick, and he was proud of that. He was unpredictable at times. But I just think that he's served as an example for young and old in what it's like to put country first, public service, a total commitment there. And I think that we've lost a great person in life, but I think his what he did and what he accomplished will live on for a lot of people to say, you know, I want to be like that. And that's a good thing. So we lost a good man, but we also have an example of what patriotism and love of country stands for.
And you can have a big personality and do all of that, as Senator McCain certainly did. Thank you, Congressman. Great to see you.